Hey guys, today we're playing Craftopia, and we're going to be looking at an experience guide on how to farm the most experience the most efficient way. So we want to go to our altar of transportation here, and you want to go to the highest level island that you've available. Level 7 is currently the highest level island available, so we're going to go ahead and travel to this one. Now that we're loaded into our level 7 map area, we're going to go ahead and get building our farm. So we're just going to have a look around and see where we have a large open area we can build it. We don't want to build it on the ground because other mobs like lizard men, axemen, they'll attack us. So we want it to be up in the air, but we still want to be able to access it via some ramps that are slightly off the ground. It can be hard to place the blocks where you want them precisely, but we're basically going to go ahead and start building a 2x2 area, and we're going to build it up into the air a little ways. It doesn't have to be up too high. I already tested to see if mobs can take fall damage, and they do not. I think we're going to go ahead and place our floor down here, and we're going to do a 2x2 area because that's the optimal area for using the lightning spell, which is what I'd recommend. And we're going to put a chair here. If you sit in a chair while you're waiting for mobs to spawn, it won't consume your stamina while you're waiting. Let's go ahead and start building our walls up. So the reason we're picking elephants is because they give a decent amount of experience per kill, 233 experience per elephant at a level 40 elephant, which is what level they'll be as long as you're doing this in a level 7 world. Now, if you can't get to a level 7 world, you can set this up in whatever world you have available. The highest level is preferable, and you could always take the parts down, take the breeders down, and move it to a higher level world once you have one available. Another reason we want to use elephants is because they have such a large hitbox. They can be hit multiple times by the lightning spell or the ice spell, or any area of effect spell is going to hit them multiple times and deal more damage to them. I think we're going to go ahead and speed this up, and I'll come back when we get to the top floor. As you can see, the building placement could still use a little bit of refinement, but I think we're ready to go ahead and get the top floor done here. We're going to start setting up the breeders, and we're going to do some conveyor belts up here as well. Now I made sure to make it deep enough so that when the elephants fall down, we're able to get enough room for multiple layers of them to be stacked up. They will literally start standing on each other's heads, and when you cast the lightning spell, it comes down from the sky, and it's going to pierce through all of them, and hitting them multiple times for each lightning. We want to make sure that we place the floors far enough away from the hole, so that when we're casting the lightning bolt, we don't accidentally hit the monsters that are inside of the breeder. Because if we kill the ones that are breeding, then we're going to run out of elephants. Again, we're going to set up a 2x2 area here, and we have to make sure we make it too high here as well, otherwise the elephants are going to go over the wall because they're such large creatures. Alright, now we're going to want to take out our conveyor belts here, and we're going to place them facing towards the pit. That way, any elephants that overflow the breeding area are going to be carried down the conveyor and into this pit, where they're going to stack up for us to kill them for experience and for the ivory. And the ivory that they drop sells for 10,000 gold apiece. So if you get a stack of ivory from killing 99 elephants, you're going to get a ton of experience, because they're worth 233 experience each on this map. and you're going to get 990,000 gold. And we'll have a clip at the end of the video here just to show you how much money you can really make from this, in addition to leveling up. We're going to make our way back over here, and then we're going to grab out our breeder. And you see how there's the little hole on the bottom in the middle? That's where the elephants come out when they're being bred. So we're going to flip this around the other way, and now they'll fill in that back area on the other side. And they'll start to overflow that area, and they'll flow to on top of the breeder, and they'll fill up the breeder on both sides. And if the breeder's full and they're still overflowing behind it, then they'll start flowing over it and down the conveyor belts into the hole in the middle. And I just realized I forgot to put some walls on here. We want to have walls on both sides just to make sure that the elephants are carried down the conveyor and they don't jump off the side. If they start escaping from the side, they can make quite a mess down at the bottom running around, and it takes a while to get them all cleaned up. So to get this started, you're going to have to catch 2 elephants with a monster prism, and you only need 2 to start this. I'm going to go ahead and equip the ones that I do have, and throw them into the breeder here. I'm going to get one on this side, and one on the other. Now they'll start breeding, and the elephants that spawn will start to overflow that back area, and when they do, they'll flow over onto this side, and into the conveyor belts down into the pit. Once they make it down to the pit, we can farm them for experience, or we can try and get their health lower so that we can use more monster prisms to capture more elephants. And then we can set up our other 2 positions with breeders and fill them in with the elephants that we just caught. While we're waiting for more elephants to spawn here, we're going to go ahead and get out our conveyor belts. We're going to jump down to the bottom here, and we're just going to have all the conveyor belts pushing towards one corner. This will push all of the elephants towards us, and once they die, all of their loot will come towards us as well. So we can just sit in the corner, or sit in the chair while we're waiting for elephants to spawn, and then when we use the lightning bolt, all of the elephants will be grouped up in the corner, and all of their drops will come to the corner for you to pick up as well. Now something else we can do here is replace the floor underneath, so that the elephants that do make it down here, when you kill those ones, any of the loot that they drop won't go underneath the other conveyor belts. It'll just land on these 2 conveyor belts and push it towards you. Now if you wanted to, you could put a conveyor belt on the block that's underneath me here, and that'll push all the loot in towards the wall, and it'll push your character into the wall as well, so it's easier to pick up the loot, or to have it collected by an absorber into a steel chest. I don't put it there because it can kind of glitch out when it keeps pushing you into a wall, and there's a lot of screen jitter. And it looks like we're back up here just in time for the first elephant to fall down there. They land on the conveyor belts, and they get pushed. So I'll show you the reason I like using Lightning Bolt here, is that the elephants has such a large hitbox that when you cast the Lightning Bolt spell, it hits them multiple times. And with a high enough talent points, you'll be able to cast Lightning Bolt again in just a few seconds, and it doesn't cost that much mana. And you see that one died in a single hit. And that's 233 experience, easy. And this glowing blue loot here is the elephant's ivory. So you can see 99 of these sells for 999,000 gold. You can see how before long, that stacks into a lot of money. You can see there's 2 more up here. That's 10,000 gold for that one, and another 10,000 gold for that one. It adds up really quick. Now that we've got another elephant or 2 down here, we're going to see if we can try and capture one of these. So we got our monster prism equipped here, and now that its health is red, it's really low, and its health bar is red, that means it's ready to be captured. And just like that, we caught another elephant. Alright, perfect. We got 2 of them really low here. We should be able to catch both of these guys, and that'll be enough to fill up the other breed. Awesome, it looks like we were able to get the third one as well. So let's go ahead and get back up to the top, and we're going to start working on the other two areas. I'm probably going to fast forward through this part again, and we'll come back when I'm done with it. Alright, now that we've got both the breeders in, we're going to go ahead and grab the elephants we captured earlier. We're going to put one on that side, one on that side, and we'll fly on over to this other one. And we're going to do the same thing over here, just putting an elephant in each side of the breeder. And then all three of these are going to be spawning elephants, which are going to be overflowing their areas and going down the conveyor into the middle. Now I could put another one over here, but I don't like doing that because you can see my altar of transportation is over there, and I have to be able to climb up the wall to get in. But it looks like there's quite a few elephants falling in here. Yeah, look at all their names through the side. So let's hop in here, and you can see just how useful the lightning spell is when they're all stacked up like that. So the first cast has a couple kills, but after the first one it really starts to get rolling. And we'll go into our talent choices and why I like using spells at the end of the video. Now we're up to the point where they pretty much get one shot. They're 233 experience each, and each tusk that they drop is 10,000 gold. So you can see how the money adds up pretty quick. And you can reach pretty much any level you want to fairly quickly. The current level cap is 50, as you can see at the bottom of the screen right now. Alright, so we're going to go back to our home island here, and we'll show you just how much that'll sell for in the market. Alright, we're going to head up to our market here, and we're going to grab our ivory. You can see we got 7.5 stacks, which is almost enough to fill up the market. The market has 8 slots available in it, and just one stack is 990,000 gold. So if we were able to fill up all 8 stacks, we'd be getting almost 8 million gold. Since we're a couple short, we're only going to come up with 745,000. But that's still a lot. An ability score respec is about 100,000. You can do that 7 times with the amount we've gotten so far. Alright, while we're waiting for those ivory to sell, we're going to hop into our build here. And we're just going to reset this. I'm level 50, so I have 49 skill points of it. And I'm going to get into why I recommend a magic build and what skills I recommend for it. So we're going to start off in magic, and for tier 1 you can pick anything you want. It really comes down to personal preference, but for me, I like using heal. I use it the most outside of farming as well, like for dungeons it comes in handy or anytime you get injured. For tier 2, lightning bolt is probably one of the strongest spells in the game right now. So we're going to level that all the way up to 6. By leveling that up to 6, we unlock the next tier. We can get Wisdom, which reduces the cost of your spells, which helps significantly. So we're going to upgrade this to 6 as well. And that's it for magic right now. We're going to go over to combat. Now, you might be wondering why we want to pick up combat if this is a magic build. So for tier 1, we can get whatever you want. If you want to go with Ironclad if you're using a shield, or Martial Arts if you want to punch something, we're not really going to be focused on melee. But since we will be equipping a shield, even in our offhand, we're just going to level up Ironclad with 3 points, so that we can unlock Tier 2. Now that we have Tier 2 unlocked, we can get two-handed weapons. We only need 1 point in this, which will allow us to equip two-handed weapons, and the power that comes with two-handed weapons is significantly greater than one-handed weapons. I'll show you mine here. I happen to have a Dragon Crimson Flamebird, which is a drop you can get from killing the dragon. And the Crimson enchantment down at the bottom gives plus 10% magic attack. And the base magic attack on this weapon is plus 600, compared to one-handeds are only about 480. Now you can see I have the Fire Spirit enchantment on my glider as well, which gives plus 30 magic attack and plus 20% magic attack. You can get the Fire Spirit enchantment by collecting burning logs from a volcano biome or basically a scorching biome. You can tell because the entire area is on fire. And you can also get Fire Spirit coal from that area. And if you get freezing stones, that'll give you plus 10 magic. The freezing stones can be found in freezing biomes and gathering stones from a resource node. Now I'd recommend getting as many enchantments on as much of your gear as you can. Probably the easiest enchantment to get is the Fire Spirit enchantment. Otherwise, another really powerful one is the Crimson enchantment, but the Crimson enchantment can only be gotten on materials that are dropped by the dragon. So you have to kill the dragon a few times before you can start getting Crimson enchantments. You can see I don't have anything on my chest piece yet, and I only have Giraffe's enchantment on my barrette, which is plus 15 magic damage. It's not a lot, but every bit adds up. So you can see on my amulet I have Dragon's Crimson. That gives me a bonus to attack from dragons, which doesn't matter because we're a magic build, but it gives me plus 10% to my magic attack. And here's a good one with Ancients on it. Ancients gives you plus 10 magic and plus 5% magic attack. And then same with the arrow here. By crafting the fire arrow, you can actually get up to 4 enchantments, but this is the best one I was able to make so far. Now my shield, I'm just using an iron shield because it's easier to get more enchantments on an iron shield because of the materials it requires. So for the wood I used Fire Spirit, and I happened to get Crimson Ancient from the dragon. So I got a really good enchantment on this iron shield, and it's going to provide me a lot more base magic damage and magic damage percentage than even using a platinum shield. Sometimes it's better to use lower level equipment with better bonuses. So even though we're using a two-handed, we can still have the shield equipped in our offhand. So we're going to equip the shield first, and then we're going to equip our two-hand. And then if we look at our inventory, it shows that they're both equipped, and we're getting the bonuses of both pieces of equipment. Now I'm not sure if this is something that's going to change in the future or not, but it allows us to get a massive bonus to our base magic and magic percentage increase. So we're going to look at our skills again here. Once again, you only need 1 point in two-handed. But we're going to go back to basics here. And for first tier, we only need 3 points, but we're going to put 6 points into meditation. 1 point alone isn't a whole lot for mana regen, and you fully restore your mana and your health every time you level up. But now that we'd be around level 20 or so at this point, we want to get max level in meditation so we can get more mana regen. Now, even 6 levels in meditation isn't enough, so we're going to go down to tier 3, and once we get there, we're going to get 6 points in meditation 2 as well. Now for tier 2, you can either pick detect or acrobatic. It's really personal preference. Detect allows you to become invulnerable for a brief moment when you crouch, while acrobatics makes you invulnerable for a brief moment as you jump. I'd pick one of them. I like acrobatics personally because you can move faster while you're jumping than when you're crouching. And collector isn't an option for me because the amount of ivory you're going to get anyways, collector doesn't really give you that much more, and you're not going to need any more money. So my personal favorite here is rabbit jump. Now we only need 4 points in it, so that it's just enough to bump us up to tier 3. This allows me to stay in the air a little bit longer and to jump a little bit higher, which works nice with acrobatics. Now, at Tier 3, we want 6 points in Meditation 2. As we already talked about, that'll give us a significant amount of mana regen. Now we could work towards Skilled Fighter in Tier 4. This is going to reduce the cooldown of your skills and how often you can cast Lightning Bolt. Otherwise, we can come over to Magic, and we can go for Rune Stream. Now, Rune Stream is going to give you a lot more damage, while the cooldown reduction is going to allow you to cast spells more often. But casting spells more often is going to cost us more mana in the long run. Rune Stream can get stacked up to 6 times, and once it's fully stacked is going to be dealing a lot more damage. It'll especially help you if you don't have enough magic power, magic attack, and it'll help you to be able to one-shot enemies easier. So I would recommend maxing Rune Stream first, unless you can already one-shot enemies with Lightning Bolt. Then I would go for the skill cooldown reduction. Now for your last points, you're going to have to decide how much you want to put into Frostmine, if any. It's a great skill if you're going to be using it to clear dungeons. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that well for farming because it launches your enemies across the map. But in dungeons, it'll one-shot all the pesky lizards that get in the way if Rune Stream is stacked up to max. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put 3 points into Frostmine. So it gives me a little bit more range and a little bit more damage. And then I'm going to get 1 point over the rainbow. This reduces your stamina consumption rate while you're on the glider, though 1 point into it doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. I'm hoping we'll have more skill points in the future once the level cap is increased. The last 3 points I'm going to put into Skill Fighter, so that it'll shorten my cooldowns, which will help me with Frostmine and with Lightning Bolt, and it'll also work with healing, so that you can cast all of them more often. But Rune Stream is definitely going to pump out a lot more damage. So it looks like we were able to get our money from selling the elephant ivory. It looks like we're up to about 19 million, and that's where we're going to wrap up our video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.